Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso at thewatchbox.com for pricing. Refreshed for 2019, this is the latest version of the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Yacht-Master, reference 126622, platinum bezel, 904L stainless steel case, bracelet, and clasp. The Yacht-Master, first launched back in 1992, was originally conceived as a more luxurious version of the Sub, but Rolex felt it couldn't change the Sub's image quite so much from a utilitarian watch to a posh watch, so it created the Yacht-Master as a separate, more luxurious aquatic sports model. In 2016, the watch gained the dark rhodium dial on the steel platinum model, and this is the latest version of that specific variant. Now, taking a look, it's 40 millimeters, but it doesn't look or feel like a 40 millimeter Sub, for example. Taking a quick look at the 40 millimeter case, the first thing you notice is that it is thinner than a Sub, 11.6 millimeters thick. Now the watch, depending on how you measure it, is 47.1 millimeters from lug to lug, but if you measure the end links of the bracelet, then the total distance across the wrist is a beefier 49.8 millimeters. The space between the lugs is still 20 millimeters, and the watch, we'll throw it on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, wears quite well. It is comfortable. It uses little enough real estate that I can recommend it for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference and recommend it as a unisex option. Again, that's a 16 centimeter circumference wrist, and you can see the bracelet splays out a little bit on each side, so I've got plenty of clearance to go with a smaller wrist here. It is low, and with a sloped case flank, you can see how easily it'll fit underneath the cuff. So make no mistake, it's a sports watch, but it can also act as a dress model. Taking a quick look at the bracelet, it has polished center links, which lets you know this is a premium model. Polished outer faces, satin finished shoulders. You can see removable links are fixed by screws right here, easy to see on both sides. Rolex has its own foundry. It makes its own cases, bracelets, and clasps, and it uses its own steel. Now, Rolex is not the only watchmaker to use 904L steel, but they do use the most of it in their line. It is a more corrosion-resistant steel that doesn't need to be rinsed after exposure to seawater or wrist sweat. Taking a quick look at the clasp, you can see, like the Submariner, it's a double lock. So there's a clamshell externally, and then if you look carefully, you can see I have to unlatch it. There's this pivoted and spring-loaded latch, and you can see there's a beak and a hook internally, and that's the second lock. Internally, the clasp is polished. You can see there's an easy link that's 5 millimeters. Snap in, snap out of tool-free adjustment. It's the equivalent of adding or removing one sizable link. And then if you look carefully, you can see inside the clasp, I'll do my best to show you this, there's some divots drilled with little tracks leading into them. So if you use your strap tool, you can actually change the anchoring point of the bracelet inside the clasp. So 3 different ways to size your bracelet. You can see the case is handsome, sculpted, and fluid. This is not the super case with the sheer sides and the squared off lug ends that we see on the GMT Explorer 2 and the dive watches. It's also all of high polish, which is handsome, organic. The watch has a triplock crown, you can tell because it's 3 dots. So while it's rated at 100 meters, I suspect it's actually quite a bit more than that. Now, taking a quick look at the bezel, it is a yachtsman's bezel, which means unlike a diver, it's not life-saving equipment. That's why you can turn it in both directions, whichever direction gets you more quickly to the minute hand. And now you have a 0 to 60 minute count-up timer. I actually find out this is more useful than a chronograph. It's easier to read, and I rarely time intervals longer than an hour. Now, it is a full platinum bezel, and you can see there's a combination of raised, relieved, and polished features, and then a media blasted interior. The dial is a metallic sunburst with dark rhodium, a darker version of the material that's generally used to create a silver coating on brass Swiss movement. So if you've ever seen a silver case back and it's a brass movement, you're not looking at the brass, you're looking at the rhodium. Apply darker, thicker rhodium, and you get what you see here. The hands, as well as the indices, are white gold to resist tarnish and oxidation over time, and the watch has a little crown between Swiss and made, which has been a feature of every new watch Rolex has launched since 2018. We have a few well-chosen cyan accents, the seconds hand, as well as the Yacht-Master script, Cyclops eye magnifier, sapphire crystal. The watch features both a quick set date and hacking seconds, and I can demonstrate both of these features to you. You can see that it is the latest version of the Yacht-Master, which means underneath its solid caseback we have caliber 3235, chrono-G escapement, bigger mainspring, 70-hour power reserve, bidirectional automatic winder, 4 Hz beat rate, 31 joules, a certified chronometer, but also a superlative chronometer, which means it's as a fully cased up and finished watch tested to no worse than -2 + 2 seconds per 24 hours. It features a full balance bridge with a free-sprung index for precise adjustment and shock tolerance. And of course, it features a handmade Breguet overcoil hairspring to help it keep even time in any physical position and earn that chronometer certification. That hairspring is also made of blue oxidized niobium zirconium alloy that is highly anti-magnetic. And these latest version Rolex movements use Rolex's proprietary Paraflex shock protection. Rolex even makes the lubricants used in the watch. A true manufacturer. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this Rolex Oyster Perpetual Yacht-Master. They make their own loom, too.